Good morning, lovelies. This is a story of a lady that I helped. This happened over what 30 some years ago. But I watched some little movie to it. And now it brings up that memory. So I'm deciding to tell this story. It was early one Saturday morning. I was still in my honeymoon phase, being married at least about 4 years or so at the time. I don't even think maybe 4 years. I think I was married about 3 years. During the time of being married about 3 years, I had not had any children as yet. And very early on Saturday mornings, every Saturday morning, I will get up and I will go and get my hair styled, fix up and beautiful, nice pin up hairstyles because I really love to dress elegantly. And me and my husband goes out to, you know, very elegant dinners on Saturday evenings. You know, at that time we never used to go away as yet because we were getting ourselves together, and we were just enjoying our young life. Being in your early 20s, being young and married. Well, back then you still could have walked the road too if you care. So nobody used to really fool with you too much still. And I had a blue Nissan Sunny. And I used to go to, it's a second-hand car, so now and again I used to go to a mechanic not too far from where we lived. Well, this morning, upon going to the hairdresser, which in the hairdresser wasn't too far either from where I lived at the time, I saw this young lady who I used to hail. And when I go to the mechanic shop, if my husband, he used to work and I go to the mechanic shop, she wasn't living too far. She used to live like 2 doors down from the mechanic shop. And she was around my age. And she used to come and talk to me and be friendly, and we got to know each other while I wait for the mechanic to fix little minor things on the car. And we get along very nice. From our first meeting, we get along excellently. Some people are made to be friends with you, believe it or not. You meet and you get along from the jump street, you call that. Well, this same young lady, she had two young children. She was unmarried. She was living at home, and apparently her parents or parent didn't mind that her boyfriend, whom she had the two kids for, used to come around and sleep around with her in their home, you know. And because I was young and married, she used to talk to me about things. Well, this day morning at around about 7 something. That's how early it's go to hairdresser. I want my hair done quick in the morning because I gotta go out when I go to the food store or go about my daily shopping on Saturday because my husband at the time used to work a weekly job. He got paid every week, and every week he encouraged me to get my hair done because he knew that I always liked to look nice. And he never stopped me, he encouraged me and make sure, okay, this your money for your hair. And I love that about my husband. I love that about him. Make sure his wife was always on point and make sure she happy. And that's why I think we were married so long. But this particular young lady, early that morning, I see her walking in her night clothes just before I even reached close to the hairdresser shop, walking fast, fast, fast. Like she crying. And I know she coming from where she live, but where she going? And she have on a see-through night dress. And I say, man, this can't be for real because what young lady can walk the road in a see-through night dress? And it seems to be in a dire state. And because I always talk to her, I stop my car on the side. I say, girl, what's going on? Where you going? What happened? What happened? I know something had to happen. She said her boyfriend slept there last night by her and her family. And they had a lovely time. But he already left. And he left from dark, like about 6 o'clock. But she get a call from a unknown person who knew her, knew him, but didn't identify themselves when they called her and told her, girl, your man just leave your bed just now. You ain't know he here with his groomsman getting ready to get married this morning in the church. Say, girl, you need to come. And they give her an address where she should come to meet him getting dressed and with all the groomsmen. Say he came right out her bed to go there to get dressed with his groomsman because he getting married to somebody else. Well, he had to be somebody else because he never got engaged to her. He wasn't getting married to her. And this was early Saturday morning. The person tell her that the wedding was going to be to a particular church. I don't want to call the church name. It was in the south. And that the wedding going to be a certain time, early that morning. And she need to come because they know she have children for him. And apparently this person know her so well, know him so well, and know what he doing so well, and know that she have children for him so well. That's why this person say they couldn't rest or live with themselves if they didn't feel they had made that call. But in the meantime, the person never told them who she was. It was a woman. So I asked her, I said, you believe that? I say, you trust your boyfriend or not? She said the reason she was in such a state is because she believed the person, because the person tell her all kind of things about her to prove that they knew her. They tell her all kind of things about the boyfriend, prove that they know the boyfriend, and say how did the person get her home phone number. Back then, it was no cell phone. It was no cell phone back then. And so for the person that had her phone number and she is not on the phone name, the phone number's in her parents' name because she lived with her parents, shows that the person is telling the truth. Lo and behold, when I think about it, because yes, at that time I was working to the court. I was working to the court, and I know how things work. So I was like, I was young but working to the court, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. This person, I say, but I hope it is true. The key word is, with all that information, people can still be setting you up to play with you, because people does it. People evil like that. And I tell her, I hope it's true. She said the reason she's so upset and crying, because in her heart, she knows it's true. Because ain't nobody can call her early in the morning like that. Say, because she took long to answer the phone. Her parents wasn't answering the phone. And when she did answer the phone, like the person must see that, when a person hang up and the phone ring and call back. Say, when she did answer the phone, because she said that the call keep being insisting. When people determined to get you, she say, oh my God, say, all her heart dropped, like from as this, from she feel like this thing dropped from inside her straight to her stomach. Saying all her stomach turned upside down. She said she couldn't think no more. She said she leave. She tell her mommy, my children, she leave the children, and she going walking. We had buses from way back then too. She so glad I stopped and asked me if I can give her a ride. If I could give her a ride. I tell her I can't give her a ride because I have an appointment. She knows I go to the hairdresser too. I tell her not only that, my husband waiting for me for a specific time to be back. And all these things, I make up all kind of story. Bitchin', my husband give me free reign. He was waiting for me in a Pacific time because he know I can handle myself in whatever situation. And he know if I want to go somewhere or give someone a ride, that's no problem. I never had a marriage where people always, oh, you can't do this. No, we had a beautiful marriage, you know, where we allow each other to live each other life. And so that's why we got along so well. And we used to be each other best friends. So I just was making every excuse. I didn't want to go with this girl. I don't want to be a part of this kind of situation where you carry somebody to a certain place, maybe fight broke out, all kind of things. Not only that, she's inappropriately dressed, and I had to tell her, I said, you realize you're still in your night dress, and your night dress suits you? She said, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. He can see me today, and he can see me just like that. I ain't changing, I got just like this. And it seems as if she maybe has temporary losing herself because she's so determined. She don't care even how she look. She going just like that. I was like, let me turn around and carry you by me and give you a dress to put on if you don't want to go back home. And then you'll still be closer to the bus stop. She said, no, she going just like this. And says I can't give her right. She can walk. She can walk. So I say, well, you have money. You look like you don't even have a place. You look like you ain't have no money. She's saying, the bus will give me a ride. Then give me a ride. Then give me a ride. They wish they did. They give me a ride. So I gone in my purse and I took out $10. I say, take this $10 because you can need it because you ain't got no money. She say, thank you. I say, I can come look for you later to see how things go, okay? I say, now be safe and watch how you're going to approach the situation because you don't want no fight and stuff. You're going by yourself, no one there to protect you. You don't know how things could turn out. These things could turn out really bad. That was my advice to her. Well, she went, and Lord, it was all over Nassau, but how this woman couldn't find her husband to be because the dress where the person tell her he was getting ready, he was there only to pick up must see his outfit he gonna wear that day. Him and his groomsman must see last minute, and then they went somewhere else. Now the person don't know where else they went, and the person refused to reveal themselves to her. But she asked the people in the neighborhood, and the people say, yeah, he's getting married that day. And they tell her they don't know where him and his groomsmen getting dressed or nothing like that. Child, but the church what the person tell her was the correct church. And the people through there, because the people where he lived was maybe going to the wedding too. One or two of them, they say, yeah, he getting married to the church. Now, they know her too, one or two of them. And it could have been one or two of them who they put together to call her up to let her know, but didn't reveal themselves. And they know plenty drama now gonna be because she going to that church. But she catch a ride with whoever must see and went to the church. I found out all this afterwards later that evening when I went looking for her. And being in the same age bracket, sometimes you need people your age to talk to. And I believe that's why me and her got along because I was married. She was unmarried, but she had kids and I didn't have kids. But who best to talk to than a person your age, you know? And then we got to be quite friendly. Well, she went to the church and mustn't wait. Help the people even open the church. The man say if she all right. She said, yeah, she come to church to pray. The man said they having a wedding in the morning. This is what she tell me. She said, yeah, she knows. She tell the man, this girl was barefoot. This girl looked like she'd lose her mind temporary, and she was not reasoning with nobody. Then I told her she need to go back home, change if only, and put on something decent, and then go if she want to consult people so she could be appropriately dressed. She refused to do that. This girl refused to do that. Well, listen here. She let the wedding start and everybody gone. And when the time came to say anything, do you have to say to anybody have anything to say? This girl fly in that church with her night dress on. People was all over talking about this situation, all over Nassau. Back then, it wasn't no punch magazine, but used to like these kind of stories. It wasn't none of that. Man, and look here. She thought she was going to out the wind. She embarrassed herself because the man still married the woman. And but at least she revealed who she was. She revealed that he always coming to sleep with her, and she revealed that she had two kids for him. The woman didn't know none of these things, but I guess some woman out of shame and embarrassment would continue to marry the man because one like me, I marrying you. I am not gonna marry you if I never knew all of it, and this happened. There's some people shady bad, okay? So the woman still marry him. A woman like me would have never marry him because you starting off your life with lies, plenty, and I wasn't having that, you know. And so the woman did marry him, but everybody was talking about this situation, okay. When I did go on to her that evening to see how things gone, to tell my husband the situation. He tell me now, Marcel, now be careful, because people be upset. I say, yeah, she might need someone to talk to because it seems like she could talk to me about any subject. So I went there and me and her talked, and she cried in my hands, and she cried and she cried. She was so destitute, and she cried. Her mother was so glad that a person like me was close to her enough that I could come and she could have someone to talk to. Her mother was so thankful that she couldn't really express herself to her mother like how she wanted to, or her father wasn't really in the house. Her daddy wasn't there, just her mother. She was from a single home. And it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. Trust me. Very, very heartbreaking. This girl cried to the point that she couldn't cry no more. That's how heartbreaking it was for her. She had her stokes in this man so bad that one day he would have married her because she had two kids for him. And this girl cry and cry and cry, you know. But at least she revealed herself, even if she did it maybe in the wrong way or whatever. But I guess Ben is going to be a right time or a right way. Sometime you'll never maybe get the opportunity. So At least the women before she said I do knew that this man had children, this man been sleeping with this woman and all that, and chances are he would have keep coming back to her. But with her revealing herself and doing what she did and saying all the things she did, that was letting him know you can't even never come back where I is. Never. And so that was the end of the relationship between her and the man. And of course the man refused to must he look after the children and come for his children and stuff like that for years and years after. But it gave her the time that she needed to heal and to be able to think of maybe trusting a man again. That years of him not showing up, not even being there, even though the children was important for him to still have been a father to, she was happy that she didn't have to set eyes on him and he stayed away from her, and that she was able to heal with him maybe coming around might have caused her can't heal like how she needed to. And yeah, he could have still sent money for the child, but men spiteful, especially some, and a man like that, we can do something like that. He was spiteful as hell. So she went on to live her life, and yeah, she became a happy woman once again. She never understood that life, some things in life, only a temporary situation, and you must move on. You must move on. No matter how heartbroken you feel, it's still only a temporary situation, ladies. It's only a temporary situation. All is not lost. Too many men out there, like they say, too many fish in the sea, honey. Too many fish in the sea, honey. But I was happy to have known her and to have become a friend with her. And once or twice on occasions, when I was going to the hairdresser and I see her, I would throw out a few dollars because I know it's only her one. And that's the kind of relationship we had, until after I moved from around in that area, because I was busy a lot with my husband and me. We used to travel a lot. We used to go out a lot. So I never really could have be a woman who would ever go around women house to sit down and talk or this and that. You had to really meet me out somewhere doing something to have a conversation with me. And of course, I was newlywed. So, my time with my husband was precious, you know. And so my husband was my best friend. So I didn't need no woman hanging around me. I never had that. I never encouraged that and I never had that. So but we we lose contact. But I saw a movie, and to bring all this situation what I knew took place in real life back. And so that's why I said, let me tell this story. I glad to have known her. I glad to have been the shoulder for her to cry on. I am so glad that I was there. And I'm so glad that I was able to see her get happy back once again. Get on her strong back, you know, once again to be able to move on with her life once again. So that's my story, ladies and gentlemen, about the situation, one of the situations, you know, that, I was caught up in to a certain extent. Yes, and I always was a type person that people will come to that had a listening ear. All my life I was that type person. So this is nothing new. Nothing new under the sun. Yes. So, to see people doing evil like that, it's just, you can't do nothing with dirty people. You just gotta understand in your mind that it's only a temporary situation. Time heals all wounds, and time time is the most precious thing you could really want. You know, it is time to be alive, time to be happy. You know, time measures everything. So it was her time of sorrow. And then after a while, she found time of happiness once again, you know. And that would be just a memory, like how it's just a memory now, like how I'm speaking about it. And for those who might have or be going through similar situations or close to heartbreaks and stuff, remember it's only a temporary, you heard me, temporary situation. And if you can look at it like that, it'll make the situation lighter and a more easy to go through. And in time, your wound will heal. All right? Over and out.